Our guest today is a driving force between one of the most successful rebrands and fan engagement stories in the NWSL. As Vice President of Brand and Fan Experience, Gotham FC's Laura Petro has been instrumental in building the club's distinct identity, one that successfully captures the grit and style of New York, New Jersey, and the metro area. She leads the charge in everything from creating powerful match day traditions like the pregame torch experience, and also the initiatives like the Gotham XC bus, the Express, and the club is just not selling tickets, but like building a culture. So welcome to the show, Laura.
Thank you so much, Gary. Wow, I was not expecting such a amazing introduction. So that
Yeah,
was very kind. Thank
we do
you.
we do our homework. So we wanted to get you on the show just because obviously branding and marketing for Gotham SC is a remarkable feat. And if you look across the league, it was mentioned on the Athletic podcast that season ticket holders and attendance has dropped a little bit, except Gotham is still rolling and still rolling along and still growing more fans. And this weekend there was 11,000 people in the stands. Was the fourth most attended game regular season wise. So it's just building and building, and that's racing Louisville. Not usually a team that brings a lot of fans to the games. Usually the Alex Morgans of the world who bring the extra fans. So our target goal here is to just dive into the marketing, the branding, the blueprint program, things like that. We want to really sell this team to the fans of why they should get a season ticket for the team. But first, Noella has some rapid fire fun questions for you.
How this gonna work? I ask you questions, and you give me your first initial like impressions, ideas, just really, really quickly, 1 to 2, 3 words, whatever you're thinking. So, first up for the Halloween season, best Halloween candy.
Candy corn.
Oh, Jenna's gonna
That
love
is
you.
that's the right answer. That is
Well,
the
we just
absolute
had
right
a
answer.
crazy debate about this in our office, and yeah, I'm sticking with it.
Good
Okay.
answer. App you use too much.
TikTok.
Okay, good answer. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you nerdy about outside of soccer?
Ooh, theater.
Oh, have you? What's your favorite play? Might be hard, but
Ooh, I just saw Liberation, which is in preview. I think it just finished previews or it's in previews right now. It was an off-Broadway show and is coming to Broadway. Buckle up and go see that. It is fabulous.
sounds good. Sounds good. What's the one TV show or movie that you've watched too many times,
Oh my
or like a
God.
comfort show?
It's got to be either Gilmore Girls
Oh,
or Sex and the City.
Sex and the City. Did you like the reboot of Sex and the City, or like the one they tried doing again?
Listen, I know there's a lot of takes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the cast. It's iconic. It's not without nothing beats the original in my opinion,
Of course.
but I will take more of those wonderful actors and actresses on screen any day of the week. So
Sounds
nothing beats the original, but did I watch every minute? Yes.
yes. Same here. And now, okay, so now we're gonna do one word to describe. So I'll give you a topic of something, or like you'll see in a second, but you just give me your first impression. One word. Gotham FC.
Bold,
Atmosphere at Sports Illustrated Stadium on match day.
electric.
Best food in the stadium.
The empanadas in the Audi Club.
Okay. Rose Lavelle.
God, unmatched,
New York Liberty.
fierce,
And the future of Gotham FC.
limitless.
Good answer. I love that. Um, so talking about, I know Gary was breaking down all that you all have been doing to really expand the promotion of the team, and just specifically more about like the brand visibility in New York. Obviously, going back to the blueprint that we were talking about. So we just looked at the massive price inflation across major New York sports. So some teams are seeing annual ticket increases of 25% or more. And amidst this boom, Gotham FC launched the Blueprint Legacy Club, which offers the first 5,000 season ticket members a 5-year price lock. What was the strategic reasoning behind this decision? And did you consider it, was it audacious, risky to cap that future revenue for half a decade? And what are the long-term benefits of that unique promise?
Yeah. So a lot went into the blueprint, as you can probably imagine. This was not an overnight decision, and really started from a place of most things we do at Gotham, which is like listening to our fans. So we're data nerds. We love data. And so we really started from a place of like, what do our fans want? The great news is they tell us very clearly what they want and what they care about. And so without getting too deep into the nitty gritty, we had a lot of survey data, both amongst existing season ticket members as well as fans who were coming to games but weren't yet season ticket members. And some big themes really like bubbled up across the board, right? Price and accessibility, being part of a community and kind of being able to shape the future of women's soccer, events and exclusive access. So there were a couple big themes that bubbled up, and we took all of that into account to then say, like, how do we reimagine this membership to give at the fans as much as we can, right? Within reason that makes sense, lead with what they want. And so I know that sounds really basic and simple, but it does always root from that place of listening to the fans, because without that, like, you can make up a million ideas, but kind of starting from that place of authenticity and what they're looking for. And then it was really like kind of combining that with like, okay, how do we make this, how do we take and build upon that? So for the blueprint, yes, there's the 5-year price lock, which we're really excited to be able to offer to fans, which I think just really speaks to, we want to reward our early members. Like I think we all at Gotham feel, when we all look in 5, 10, 15 years, when there's 25,000 people in the stadium every single game easily, like those first 5,000 are going to be able to say, like, I was there when, and really kind of have that sense of pride and ownership in the club. And I think we hear that consistently from fans. Like, Gotham is part of many of our fans' identity, right? It's like, I am a Blueprint member. I am part of Gotham community. So I think being able to make those real business decisions to invest in them and to say, like, hey, you're sticking with us. You're kind of taking a leap of faith on us. We want to stick with you. And so it really is that kind of like two-sided relationship, and being able to reward early fandom and kind of belief in the club. Because at the end of the day, like, it's a two-sided relationship, right? Like, the club is nothing without the fans. So we believe that very deeply. Again, there's the price lock, and there's the really cool jacket, which you guys may have seen, which is new this year, the varsity jacket, which, I'm a little biased, I think looks really cool, yes, but is also, worth quite a substantial value, and people will be able to customize. So we kind of looked across, again, these biggest benefits. And then I think the part of the blueprint that's really exciting to me, again, all those perks are awesome, but it really is being part of that community and being part of this foundational group of people. Being able to kind of foster that, again, whether it's through events, tailgates, small touches, like we've had a blueprint like photo frame at our event at our games, the past few games, and like it's so fun to watch fans come over and be like, yay, we already claimed our seats, like we're in the blueprint, we're locked in. So I think being able to kind of foster and enable that sense of community and pride is kind of some of what went into that.
No, and it's
like that. Yeah. So I've been a season ticket holder for other teams as well. And like, you get that every year, you get that price increase. You're like, okay, I'm getting charged $200, $300 more for these tickets. What am I getting from this? Am I getting enough investment or, get return on my investment for this, for the club? And I feel like that, like the 5-year price lock, and then sometimes you get like the jacket itself, it covers most of the tickets for some fans. Yeah. So like you're getting a lot back for that investment. And it makes you feel really good about being part of that. And as you mentioned, the growth of women's sports is the most important thing. So being part of that is huge as well. I wanted to jump over and talk about the ambitious and the scale of Gotham marketing. Because like, if you look at like other teams, you look at Seattle, it's like, okay, we're marketing narrowly to Seattle. Orlando, we're marketing narrowly to Orlando. Gotham was like walked into the room and was like, okay, I'll take 2 states, please, possibly three, and maybe the world. So, like, how would you define Gotham FC's like target market since it's such a huge space?
Totally. I mean, I think there's two parts to this, right? I think we represent the New York City area,
Hmm.
and that's the New York side and the Jersey side. But I think you look at the Yankees, right? Like, I do think there is this aspect to New York City and the greater New York City area where, like, I'm a little biased, but New York is the center of the world.
Hmm.
And so I think being that epicenter of culture, of, kind of just such a, obviously, like, such a global city, I do think really like radiates into how we think about our market. Oh, so I think that kind of like the fact that we are rooted in, again, the greater New York City area does kind of speak to that like global aspect and kind of the big ambitions that you're touching on, because I think that's so just like true of the New York City attitude, right? And the way that kind of people converge here. And then I think so there's a little bit more of the practical answer, which is, right, like, we're not trying to go after every single person in New York City, state, and all of New Jersey, right? Like, we do have some core geographic focus areas, which are probably not super surprising, like some of the suburban Jersey areas, um, closer to the stadium, as well as, I think what's actually sometimes surprises people when I share this is we actually have a really strong Brooklyn contingency. So, like, downtown Brooklyn and Brooklyn Heights and Park Slope, like, we have a really solid fan base here. The Upper West Side, the Upper East Side, like, there are these kind of pockets that have emerged as, like, within, to your point, New Jersey, New York, huge markets.
Right.
And we even have fans in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. But we do kind of focus in a little bit on our marketing efforts locally, and we're going to be doing even more. Like, we just launched a street team, or built a street team, I should say, in the last 5 months. We have an amazing leader that we brought on to build that out and lead the charge there. And so we're going to be doing even more of that going into 2026, getting out in the community, and you can't be everywhere. So I think it's kind of that combination of almost like global ambition and global, like, from how we present ourselves, from how our brand, how we communicate, kind of the style, the vibe, with like really local strategies around grassroots street teams, events, partnerships, forging community and relationships. So it's kind of like that two-pronged approach.
And like, have you seen, like, you're obviously growing in your fan base, but like, is there a specific like subsection that you're surprised, or maybe like this is where we're gaining a lot of fans from, like this specific area?
It's not surprising. Well, I guess it's not surprising to me, but I don't know how it would be perceived externally. Like, youth soccer is a
Hmm.
huge focus for us. I think it's really unique, and when you think across other American sports, right? Like, you almost have a lot of fandom, obviously, that comes from generations and more from like elders passed down. And I think we're seeing here in America at least, in soccer, and definitely in Gotham, a lot of that fandom is being generated from the kids up, because, right, kids are playing soccer. And so while, again, soccer isn't the most dominant sport in the US, obviously it's the most dominant sport globally, like all the things. That's really cool to see. And I think you see that reflected, right? You probably felt this, Gary, on our game days. Like, there are, on any given day, like hundreds of thousands of kids who either are not only coming out with their families, but also with their soccer team and with their school. And so I think that, going back to that accessibility piece, like the fact that you can come to a game for as low as $15 a ticket, that's really compelling. And by the way, we have an amazing fan fest with face painting and games and prizes and all these things. I think it's really the combination of like the kids that are already excited by the sport and playing the sport, and then the game day experience is really fun for them. We do see that youth soccer and youth in general, but especially youth soccer, is a really big piece of the growth and the audience, the fan growth.
I do want to ask about the Philly question, because if you look at like Philly, there is some interest in putting a women's team there. There's been shown some interest. Like, how does Gotham see Philly as part of their marketing? And they do play there once a year, but is that something that you do consider that part of your fan base? And is there going to be like a tug of
Like,
war between?
yeah, I think as you pointed out, right, like New York and New Jersey in and of themselves are huge states. And so even within that, we are trying to focus, like we have to focus so that we can really, there's millions of people, right? We
Hmm.
can't reach all of them and we have to be very targeted with our efforts. But so it's, I would say Philly, like we definitely have about not an insignificant amount of fans who come from that area, which I think is more a subset of like the South Jersey. And I've talked to fans who come to games from northern Pennsylvania. Like there's outliers everywhere, but I think we definitely embrace the Philly cohort. It's not that far from the stadium, so I think it does speak to that accessibility piece. We're not going into Philly doing events every day, but we definitely include, we see that as an important part of our fan base for sure.
And Noel's going to jump into some questions about accessibility to the stadium, things like that, and getting those fans from Philly, from New Jersey, New York out to the stadium. Go ahead, Noel.
So that was actually an interesting point. Just the accessibility and the location of Sports Illustrated Stadium. Of course, Gotham is a New York, New Jersey team, but a lot of fans associate themselves, like New Yorkers, like soccer
Yep.
fans, associate themselves with Gotham. So the Gotham FC Express Bus Initiative, I think, was a smart solution in trying to overcome a lot of the Red Bull Arena transit challenges. Can you share a little bit more about the operational metrics for this service? Has it become a significant factor in converting casual fans who might otherwise be discouraged by, the long distance from New York to New Jersey?
It's such a good question because you're very, it's like you were in our discussions of like why we came up with this. So we this was a big test for us this year. I talk about that a lot. Like we're always experimenting and testing because there is no playbook, right? Like we're building it. Um, so that was a test for us this year. We went in kind of with a hypothesis around kind of what you're getting at, which is like, can this be an unlock for, we hear a lot that, for especially New Yorkers, but even some folks in Jersey, like accessibility is a challenge. And so does offering this bus service help get people who wouldn't otherwise buy tickets to come? That isn't really what played out. The majority of people leveraging the service were actually like existing fans, which is also great, but it didn't really, we didn't really see that impact. And, I think that's important to share because not everything, is always going to do what you think it's going to do. And so we do a lot of experimentation to kind of learn and see like, okay, hey, we are a small team. Should we keep doing this? Is that worth the investment or making an impact? And so, or is that time better served somewhere else? So, yeah, it was interesting. Again, we did have fans leveraging it, but it was a little bit of a different outcome than maybe we hypothesized, which, hey, that's kind of how marketing works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And in regards to, I know we were talking about youth players and youth soccer players being a big focus for encouraging people to continue to follow the team. So the recent Elevate Play and CarMax Kids initiatives is part of that effort, right, to bring thousands of local youth to games. So from a marketing perspective, what's the long-term goal of this strategy beyond just selling single game tickets? Are you looking to do this like project this for like more long term, or building, like we said, the 5-year plan that we had for regular season ticket holders? What is the game plan for keeping this long term?
Yeah, so youth obviously that's a big category. So there's a lot of different dimensions to that. I think the examples that you're touching on with CarMax Kids and Elevate Play, like that's actually part of our social impact strategy. So one of our pillars is really increasing access to soccer for youth. So those two initiatives are made possible, through our sponsors and Dove as well with Keeper in the Game is another one that kind of sits within that vertical, which is those are long-term commitments to continue providing free access to youth who wouldn't, either wouldn't otherwise have access to be able to attend a professional sporting event. And then of course, Keeper on the Game more around the education and the support and on the coaches side, on the parent side, to be able to keep girls in the game. So there's a lot happening kind of on the social impact, getting youth out and paying for that thanks to our sponsors, and being able to also then foster, like I said, the education and the ongoing, support to keep girls from dropping out of sports. So that's like a whole effort in and of itself. We have a 2-person community team, if you can believe it, who just do an unbelievable job really leading all of those efforts. And then there's kind of a whole other bucket of youth, which is like kind of what I was touching on earlier, which is more paid tickets, as you said, and being able to continue to make the game day experience great for those groups. So typically, those groups are coming out as, like I said, groups and large ones at that. So, what are the things that they care about? What are packages we can create for them? Like this year, we actually started that people love getting on the field, right? Makes sense. It's really fun. It's really cool. We actually had so much interest that we were like, there's more interest than we can service right now. So we created parades where you can actually get your group into a parade and you get to go around the sidelines of the stadium and have that moment. So kind of being able to work in partnership with those groups to tailor cool experiences and packages. And I think that's part of what's so fun is, like, to your question, it's never just selling a ticket. It's an unforgettable experience. It's like a memory that will last forever. So I feel like, yes, we are in the ticket business and the revenue business, but we're also in like the memory making business. And, I'm sure we can all think of our own moments perhaps as kids, where I always think about when I went to a 76ers game on pajama night in my pajamas with my Allen Iverson jersey over top. So like those are funny things that like we get to create those. So kind of, a long answer, but there's a lot of dimensions to it. And the simplest thing I could say is like, it's a long-term effort across the board from a social impact side, a community building side, and then continuing to foster these experiences for people who are buying tickets so they really see the value and create those memories for their families and their kids.
Yeah, well, I do want to talk about like 2 quick questions about the game day experience, because obviously it's not like, I mean, you get there and if you're thinking you're just going to get right to the ticket checker, you're going to run through a whole bunch of things. There's soccer, there's photos, there's painting, there's all kinds of things. One thing I want to talk to you about is the torch ceremony, which is kind of fun. And you'd be able to incorporate the Cloud9 and all that into there. Is there like a performer or like someone who was a torchbearer that you were like, all right, that's for me, like that particular one?
Like that we've had personally?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we've been so lucky. We've had really good people.
Yeah.
I think Billie Jean King was pretty
yeah.
unbelievable. Like,
No doubt.
also just because she was so fired up. Like, it's always fun when people's energy is really fun. So she was amazing and just like what a legend, obviously. And then we also had Sierra this past season,
Right.
which was, I think people were just, it's moments like that where like these are huge names, and for people to be able to see like they care enough to come out, to light the torch, to be part of this tradition. Like, I think it just means a lot to the fans. It was cool personally, but I also just think, again, it's cool to be able to like give that back to the fans and have people see like, wow, people are taking this really seriously and want to be a part of it, which is so special.
Yeah, like I don't get starstruck like very much, so it's more fun for me. But like Misty Copeland, like
Oh my
just
gosh, so
that
cool.
is, yeah, one of the coolest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So it's just like you got something for everybody. And it's always good to see who pops up next. Premium experiences. So I've never taken a part of any of the premium stuff that goes on up there. I guess hint, and the Founders Club and all of that. So like, what is it like to be like in the upper Founders Club? Like, what experience did you get there that you don't get anywhere else?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So I think one, you get access to the Audi Club,
Hmm.
which is like all soft drinks, I should say, and food is included, and then it's, a paid bar. So that's like pretty huge. Like not only not having to wait in line for concessions, but also I've had some of the food. It's very, like I said, the empanadas, very good. So I think that's really nice. And also just being able to like I see a lot of groups who take advantage of that Founders Club who are like I think it's very conducive to like bringing friends and bringing family and being able to have like yes, we're watching the game and it's really fun, but also like let's go get soft serve and
Yeah,
take sit down for a second and just like be able to the game plays inside of the club space of course so you don't have to miss anything but it really is like a nice elevated experience and I think people bringing kind of guests and friends really like being able to have that space um so that's a big one and then the you also get a couple other like special perks as part of the Founders Club that are just for those ticket holders. So I personally, I think the food and bev for every single game is huge. And I is kind of like my favorite perk of that membership.
uh-huh.
And then of course you
Okay,
get like the seats themselves are like some of the best, there's not a bad seat in the house, but they're
yeah.
definitely some of the best seats in terms of not only the view, but then also the like there are seats even that have um cushion seats, like the seats themselves are like really nice. So that's pretty cool as well.
Sounds nice. We were in there for the championship celebration thing that was at the end. So
Okay,
we got to see the
yeah.
inside of there. So it's a really cool place, and
Yes. And then you
yeah.
also you do get to enter you get a separate entrance. So again, if you're
Mm.
running later, there's no big lines and it's a little bit more that's a nice perk as well. So yeah, no bad options, but
No.
there are some nice amenities for sure.
Looking back at the massive attendance jump over the past few seasons, what's the single biggest lesson you've learned? Not only just about like the Gotham fan base, but like the NWSL fan base, and that maybe perhaps challenged like your initial um, assumptions of what it would be like marketing in women's soccer.
Such a good question. I'm like, what the single biggest? I mean, I've learned a lot. There's so much. There's 20 things I could say. I think if I could say one thing, it is that there's obviously so much momentum around women's sports. I think we all see it and hear it and feel it, but it's not over. Like it is, we still have a long way to go. That we have a lot more growth potential, and so I think just sometimes you see headlines or read things, and it's great, and we should celebrate all the growth. But there's still a lot of ways that people can choose to spend their time, money, Saturday and Sunday, and so especially I think unique to our market, like there's a lot of competition, right? You could go to a Broadway show, you could go to a different sport. Like there's a lot that you could do and choose not to come to a game. So I think not losing sight of like the job's not done. It's a little like we always say, I got our mantra is literally always building, never finished. So it's a little reflective of that, right? Like it's not done. We need the support of the fans. We need people to keep bringing friends, telling, a neighbor, a colleague, like just every person who brings one friend, that's more fans. That's a better environment for the team. That's, it's just a ripple effect. So That's probably the biggest thing I would say is like job's not done. It's a really exciting time. There's so much momentum. We have so much to be proud of, and we 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 have big goals and we want to keep growing. So that's probably what I would say.
And in terms of our 5-year vision plan and what the future looks like for sales for the team and looking ahead, with the World Cup obviously coming very, very soon, what is the ultimate goal for Gotham FC's attendance and like ticket sales, and what are you most looking forward to in terms of like continuing to engage fans to come out to games and support the team, and like you said, not only just sell tickets but want to be part of this community?
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say, right? The ultimate goal is we want sold out stadiums every single game, right? Like we all want that. The player, the team wants that. The fans want that. Like everyone wants that. That's a no-brainer. But I think more specifically, it's really exciting, and I think we all take very seriously as we do our jobs. Like we are all cultivating a new type of fandom and a fan base that has continued to grow, and I think is there is no playbook for, as I said before. Like the NWSL is growing, like we're all kind of building this together. And so I think more than anything, it's really exciting to shape that and be a part of that. And, not just say grow and grow and grow, but like how and why and what do we want that to look like and how do we do that authentically. And there's so much that goes into that we really get to all shape together. And truly, when I say together, it's like the front office to the fans, to the team, to like it's everyone coming together to decide what this fan base and the future of the kind of fan experience and game day is going to like look like for Gotham. And I think that's really exciting and special. Because I don't know, I'm Gary. I would love to hear your thoughts, but I think you feel it today. Like it feels different when you go to a Gotham game than when you go to any other sporting event I've been to. And I think that's really special, and just like continuing to build upon that. So building our own playbook, growing. And yeah, obviously the World Cup is going to be a massive moment, a lot of eyeballs, those are the times, right? You see it in Olympic years too, where people who maybe aren't as interested normally get excited. And we're obviously really lucky to have World Cup winners, Olympians, all of the amazing players that we have. And so being able to tell that story and say to people, hey, you're really hyped for the Men's World Cup. We have this elite talent on the pitch all the time in your backyard. So I think that's being able to tell that story to help us grow is really exciting.
Yeah, it's come a long way. I remember the days like McCall's or only like imploring fans to come out to the stadium. It was, and it was tough. And then when the more fans you get in that stadium, the louder it gets, the more energetic it gets, and it's infectious. And I can't imagine having a bad time when there's that many fans in the stadium, and it's a remarkable atmosphere, and it's something that you remember always. And I think it's just the most important thing is once you get them in the door one time, it's the chances of them coming back, I think, are probably pretty high for Gotham,
Yeah.
just from the experience and the whole thing. And the most like interesting thing about this whole thing is that we're all building our own like personal brands and things like that, but we're all lifting up the sport of women's sports in general. And I think like a rising tide lifts all boats. So that when Gotham gets more fans, the Liberties get more fans, the Sirens get more fans, and it's just that we're all that sense of collectiveness and the energy we all have, and just building something. And because it's like if you cover like men's sports, it's like it's already built, right? So
Yeah.
there's that, but you always have to like match your own ambitions with like opening the door behind you and letting more people in and growing this thing. And we're at this collective vision that I think we all have, and you exude that very much, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. That was really well said.
Oh,
So it
thank you.
makes me excited.
Yeah, so that's what we're all here for. We're all here to grow the sport together, and obviously, we have a lot more questions to ask, and maybe we'll get you back on because you got a lot to say, which is a good thing. So Gotham has a break, and they will be back against North Carolina away.
Yeah.
Hopefully, getting that home playoff game. We want to see, oh, we want to see that stadium loud and proud. So we will see you on the next one. Thank you for Noella, myself, and Laura. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.